Yeah, I mean, I grabbed Puka Nakua earlier this week when the line opened at 64.5 receiving yards. Last I saw was at 69.5. Nice. And I would still take the over on that all diggity day long. I really love Tutu Atwell on the over for longest catch, and that is sitting at 20.5 yards at a standard minus 115 juice. I mean, look at Atwell. He's already done this not once, but twice. Both times came in the matchup against the Seahawks. Number 10 in total air yards, has already 4 deep ball targets on the season. Very handsome, 13.4 ADOT. And most importantly, going to see a lot of Cameron Taylor-Britt in action. And I know Taylor Britt's only got up a 50 flat catch rate to his assignments, but he's also surrendered 18.2 yards per catch. So the slipperiness of Tutu Atwell could really exploit this weakened secondary of the opposition. So I think ultimately, against the Bengals, Tutu Atwell could be a standout guy, and all I need him really is to just have an explosive pass play, and I'm already counting some $100 bills of my winnings there at the end.
Arizona State, USC was looking ahead, not to Oregon, not to Washington, to Colorado. I mean, watch the Oregon Ducks players' reactions in that locker room when they're flashing the watches and they're talking about all, they wanted it more than Dan Lanning. Like, players are jealous too of all the attention that the Colorado players have been getting. So that's the new territory and it's a great problem to have, that teams are focused on you and they want to play you. But it also is a big problem to have because those teams are better than you. So you're going to get USC's best effort. Now it's down there, man. I might have to lay him again.
I think Colorado, if they're lucky, they're only going to win one more game the rest of the season. What do you guys think? I'm going to read their schedule. They have USC this weekend at home.
Loss.
Then they go to Arizona State.
Win.
Then, you know what? Maybe 2 wins.
Okay.
It better be. I got the Fighting Dillingham's under 4.5.
I'm saying if there's an over-under on their wins the rest of the season, it's at 1.5.
Okay, go on.
They host Stanford at home. They're away at UCLA. They're home against Oregon State, home against Arizona, on the road at Washington State, and then the last game of the season are on the road at Utah.
Give me the over.
I would take the over.
I think they could beat the Arizonas.
I think Arizona. Yeah, Arizona State, those are wins.
Yeah, and maybe Stanford.
Yep, agreed.
But they're going to lose to all the top teams, as they should. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not a Colorado hater. It's just like...
The Pac-12 is really good right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, and again, I'm sure that there are very smart people out there, a lot of sharp bettors that are going to do some analysis and run some simulations and so forth, and they'll come up with something that makes sense to bet this game. To me, casual public guy betting #Chili's money, this game just screams to stay away. But what I found interesting, Nick, is Denver, with the odds maker I spoke with on Sunday night, Denver goes from 2.5 minus 120 to -3 flat to -3 minus 120. Now I haven't looked back to see if it's dialed back a little bit today.
BetMGM actually has it. BetMGM has Denver -3.5, minus 105 now. Actually,
I mean, based on what I saw yesterday, the eye test, these two teams might be the 2 worst teams in the NFL. So I'm not saying you bet the Bears. I'm just like, how is this line going anywhere? How is it just not on the board and just being completely ignored? So that's a surprise to me. Also a surprise to me that at least early, and I'm not sure where BetMGM is on the total at the moment, but that the total went up early. One odds maker I spoke with Sunday night opened 45, went to 45.5, and then 46. And as I wrote in my article in my NFL Odds Week 4 report at Vegas Insider, go figure, for 2 teams that were outscored by a combined 111 to 30 in Week 3, this total's going up. They're betting the Broncos. I don't know. I wish I did.
Yeah. Pat, I actually wanted to go really quickly back to the Dolphins because I think the game of the week is going to be Sunday, and it's going to be where the Bills right now are 2.5-point favorites. We're looking at a total at 53, which makes sense because the Dolphins just hung 70 themselves, and we know how good the Bills are offensively. I'm guessing that the Bills are probably going to end up being a need for the book, as crazy as that sounds, even as favorites, especially if we get back to 3. Don't you think the Dolphins would be the public side here after they just hung 70 and they start 3-0?
Right, and I agree with you, and that's one of the reasons why when I spoke to a couple of different odds makers last night, Sunday night, one in particular said both teams were impressive on Sunday, and obviously the Dolphins were mightily impressive. But he said making the Dolphins a field goal underdog after the offensive explosion felt unwise. Like they just felt like if they put 3 there, it was going to get smashed because by the sharp side, because the public is already going to be on the Dolphins. The Dolphins have totally passed the eye test. The Bills are a public team, no question, but the public's not going to be able to get that out of its head over the next few days. So he said I could see the public betting the Dolphins as a dog, and even more so if it gets to 3, and then you might, if it goes to Bills 3, and then you might have some of the sharp side weighing in on the Dolphins as well, and that's one thing odds makers typically don't want, especially if it's going to be a really well bet game, is for the sharps and the public to be on the same side. So, the Bills could absolutely be in need this week, which is weird to say that for a team that's playing in Buffalo. But remember too, this is a rematch of last year in the playoffs when Miami didn't have Tagovailoa and went to Buffalo and gave the Bills all they can handle. Mm-hmm. Now they got Tagovailoa back. The team is clicking on all cylinders. It's going to be a chore. It should be I hope it's a hell of a game.